This is Hittin' 50, the fitness and wellness podcast serving the over 50 community. I'm your host, Chris Cotnor. Welcome to episode 7 of the Hittin' 50 podcast. I'm your host, Chris Cotnor. This week's episode is focused on time, which is the most cited reason for not exercising. Before we get to the episode, I just want to remind you that if you are enjoying the podcast, please rate, review, and subscribe. It really helps with discoverability. You can follow me on Twitter at @CCotnor, Instagram at @CCotnor, Facebook at Christopher Cotnor, and LinkedIn at Chris Cotnor. You can also subscribe to my Substack newsletter at hittin50.substack.com. And finally, I've just started the Hittin' 50 YouTube channel. This week, we posted 6 instructional videos for workouts that you can do from anywhere and which do not require weights. You can find the channel link in the show notes. According to the CDC, adults should spend at least 150 minutes per week doing aerobic exercise at a moderate intensity and spend at least 2 days a week doing a muscle strengthening activity like lifting weights. Yet just 28% of adults are meeting those targets. This doesn't mean that just 28% of adults are exercising regularly. Taking a deeper look at the data, 46% of adults are meeting one of the two requirements, but this still means that 54% of adults are not meeting either of the requirements. The main reasons will be familiar to you, with the most cited reasons being time, lack of motivation, or too tired. One of my goals this week, both in terms of the newsletter and the podcast, is to take time out of the equation. There are 168 hours and 10,080 minutes in a week. Around 50 of those hours are spent sleeping, so to meet the CDC requirements would require you to spend just 2.5% of your available time doing cardio and strength training. While I believe that establishing the habit in the form of 5 to 10 minutes per workout day is important, I also believe that to reap the full health benefits of regular exercise requires working toward the CDC recommendations. If time is the biggest barrier to exercising regularly, then how do we overcome it? I would argue that while time is the most cited reason, it's not the entire story. Exercise needs to be a priority, which requires you to define your why. This may sound corny to you, but establishing your reason for exercising will be especially helpful on those days when you really don't feel like exercising. Next is to establish some short-term goals. If you're already exercising 10 minutes per exercise day, set a goal of 20 minutes per day. If you're just starting out, be realistic about what you can achieve, even if it's only 5 minutes per day at the beginning. The final step is planning and taking the time to build exercise into your schedule. I would literally block time in your calendar, creating an appointment for yourself that fits with your time constraints for a given day. Consider your workout time to be as important as a work meeting or dental appointment. Once you've allotted the time, you avoid using the "I don't have time" as an excuse. I realize that everyone has different schedules and work arrangements, and I've tried to think through the various scenarios. My wife, for example, travels to the city 3 days per week, and her schedule is pretty packed, so she'll schedule workouts either early in the morning or on the days when she isn't traveling to the city. My work takes me to Washington, D.C. from time to time, which makes it virtually impossible to exercise on those days, so if you know that you're traveling, schedule a rest day. The bottom line is that exercise needs to be a priority, something that is scheduled, and as you'll hear from our first guest, protected, so that you're able to complete your workout. With that, our first guest is Linda Magid, a certified Pilates instructor who teaches both in person and virtually. She walks through a few simple workouts that can be done without equipment that address both cardio and strength. Hi, I'd like to welcome back Linda Magid to the podcast. Linda is a certified Pilates instructor, and thanks for coming back again, Linda. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
This week, I'm focused on this idea that people don't have enough time to exercise, despite the fact that we've pointed out over the past, year and change that exercise is the best medicine. Talked about working out at home, I've talked about scheduling time. I just wrote about all of this stuff again. But I saw a statistic this morning that only 28% of adults are meeting the exercise targets set by the CDC. That 28% includes both cardio, which is 150 minutes, and 2 days of strength training. And I kind of broke it down in terms of 24 hours in a day. If you sleep 8 of those hours, which we highly recommend, there's 16 hours to do work, personal stuff, cook, clean, whatever you got to do. There has to be 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes in your day to be able to work out. What do you think about that?
I think that people pigeonhole their own thinking about exercise. That if it's, I must go to the gym, it must be 60 minutes, it must look like this. And researchers have found that if you are aiming to do like 30 minutes of cardio in a day, you don't have to do those 30 minutes all at once. You can do 3 segments of 10 minutes in a day and it still counts. What we mean by counts is it still counts for a strong heart, strong lungs, good circulation. It still gives you all the benefits of exercising for 30 minutes in a stretch. So people need to think differently about how they exercise, like what their exercise habits are. And sometimes on some days, it does take breaking up those segments in order to get it done.
You could not have put better words in my mouth. Literally exactly how I work out. I break up, if I do strength training and it's 40 minutes, they're broken up into 10-minute segments. And, yeah, part of that is, I have the Peloton platform available. Part of it is like I'm picking a body part, I'm picking a time. But my goal is to work out for 40 minutes. If I only can do 20 minutes because I have to record a podcast or whatever, then I'll go back to it later. And I think one, people probably think they won't necessarily go back to it later. But to your point, you don't have to work out for 30 minutes a day. Yes, the CDC is recommending 150 minutes, but it does not have to be all at once. And frankly, it shouldn't be all at once. It should be spread over a number of days. But your point is fantastic in terms of breaking up your workouts. So give me an example of a cardio workout that somebody could do, with some amount of time at home if they happen to be at home and they can't get to the gym.
Well, great. I actually have 2 different workouts that are possible. One if you have stairs and one if you don't. So let's take the idea of a 5 to 10 minute workout. So you want to spend a minute to 2 minutes warming up. That could be jogging in place. It could be jumping jacks. You don't want to just hit the stairs right away. You could actually walk up and down the stairs for just walk up and down the stairs for a minute just to warm up the body. But what you're going to do is you're going to run up the stairs, assuming that you have the space. You're going to do push-ups at the top of the stairs, get up, run down, run back up, do push-ups at the top of the stairs. You can do as many as you want. You could do 5 push-ups. You could do 10 push-ups. It depends on what you can do. And you're just timing that up and down. If you want to do go up and down, and then do push-ups. So, you're going to create it for yourself. But the idea is that you're getting your upper body workout, a strength workout, but you're also getting the cardio of the push-ups and the running up and down the stairs. If you don't have stairs or your knees are not that into stairs, you can do same idea. You're going to do a nice short warm up, and then you're going to do 5 to 10 fast squats. So not squats for strength, just up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, getting the body going. Then you're going to reach down to the ground, crawl your body forward into a plank. If you want to do push up, then you can crawl your body back up to standing and do those squats again, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, and then crawl out and then crawl back in. So again, you're getting some strength in there, but you're moving fast enough so that your body is getting that cardio in. You can take a break. So this kind of goes to sort of a HIIT program where you're going high intensity, then an active break, walking in place, little jog, heart rate comes down, start it again. And so then you just keep doing that 5 to 10 minutes, and it will take up that time, and you'll be really tired at the end.
Oh, the stair workout with push-ups sounds like a lot of fun actually. What about specifically for strength? So you highlighted an exercise in fast squats that are both strength and cardio, and I like those types of exercises, but what about, specifically around strength, home workout, weights or no weights?
Okay. So for weights, again, you got to do the 1 to 2 minutes of warming up. Really important to do that. If you have weights, then you can do 10 squats, then 10 lunges each side. Then you don't need weights. You're going to do 10 push-ups, and then you're going to do 10 Superman. So Superman is laying on your belly, arms out, stretched out in front of you. Better to have them kind of at an angle, like to a corner, as opposed to right over your head. And legs also pointed out to a corner. And you just lift your arms and your legs, and you're basically strengthening your back. And then you come back down to the floor and you lift up and down 10 times. And you just do those 4 exercises: squats, lunges, push ups, Superman, 10 each for the time that you want to work out. So that's where you can incorporate some weights. And by the way, this is not like this is how everyone should work out, just so everyone's clear. This is, I'm not sure what to do. Where do I start? Start here. You can always, incorporate triceps. You can incorporate biceps. You can do all those things. But the idea is do 4 exercises, 10 each. If you do not have any weights, some good body weight exercises or a set of body weight exercises would be a bear crawl. So you're on your hands on the floor. And so your hands and your feet are on the floor and your butt's kind of sticking up in the air. You actually kind of want to get it down, and you crawl forward and crawl back, and you go back and forth 5 times. And that's going to be your chest, and it's also going to get your quads. You can lay down on your back, have your knees over your hips, do toe taps. Now you're getting your core. So you tap your toe to the floor and then toe to the floor, and do that 5 times. Back onto your chest for a plank, 30 seconds, because you're going to do rounds of this. So 30-second plank, and then of course push-ups, because really nothing beats a push-up. As much as I hate them, it's just true. They're just a great exercise. And you do that in succession, and you just do that for the 10 minutes. So you don't need weights to exercise, because your body weight will give you the strength, give you those strength exercises that you're looking for.
My last question is going back to the point about breaking your workouts up.
If you're wondering how you're going to break it up, it really takes looking at your calendar, writing it in. After this meeting, I'm going to get up and do my 15 minutes and then come back and do my work, and protect it. You got to protect it. And I think that's something that I see in my classes. Like, I actually have someone in one of my classes who puts in her work calendar meeting with Linda. And that is when she comes to my Pilates class. And if she says that she's going to work out, then people will be like, oh, she's just exercising. They'll set a meeting during that time. But if they see somebody's name, they're not going to do it. And that's how she protects her time. And that's a full hour plus her drive time. So you need to protect that time. And I think planning ahead, not necessarily, maybe for the week, but not necessarily even just for the next day. What am I going to do tomorrow? Thinking about, while you're brushing your teeth the night before, what are the exercises I need to do? Do I need cardio tomorrow? Do I need strength tomorrow? What do I want? And get that set so that when you go to exercise, you already know what you're going to do and you're prepared. And you've already convinced yourself, I'm going to do this. You don't have to talk yourself into it. And I think that kind of preparation makes a really big difference for committing to it and getting it done.
I write everything out my schedule, what I need to get done for the day. But most importantly, it's, what exercise do I have to do? And I just spend the time and I plan it out. People might think I'm crazy. I tell people time and time again that you have to schedule this, you have to define like why you're doing what you're doing, and you have to make it a priority. You make time for stuff that you want to do. Exercises has to be part of that. But Linda, thank you so much for joining again, and hopefully get to talk to you again next week.
Thank you so much.
I didn't even pay Linda to talk about scheduling, and I love the creativity of her class participants who essentially have scheduled exercise as a meeting to both ensure they are able to attend and that nobody schedules a meeting in that time slot. My next guest is Christine Boyer-Zazero. Christine walks through her suggested at-home workout, and what's really great about her segment is that we produce videos of each of her exercises, which can be viewed on the Hittin' 50 YouTube channel. I'd like to welcome back Christine Boyer-Zazero to the podcast. Christine is a certified personal trainer. Welcome back.
Thank you, Chris. It's great to be back.
So this week we tried something new, which was I went to your place of business and we made some how-to videos of some exercises that people can do from home. And since this entire episode is dedicated to trying to find the time to exercise, I thought it was a great introduction to exercising at home without weight. So maybe you can just talk a little bit about the 6 exercises that you demonstrated, and then we can talk about where people can find them.
Well, Chris, first we started with doing some squats, and squats are it's a basic exercise that you can do anywhere. You could even do it in your office. We started with 3 different levels: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And with the beginner, we used a chair. Many people take for granted the fact of getting up from a chair. They'll hold their hands. They'll put their hands on the chair to help themselves get up. And what we did was a beginner version of just basically in a squat position, coming down onto your chair and then standing back up, engaging the glutes as you do so. So it's very important for building lower body strength. With the intermediate variation, we went ahead and we moved the chair and we did the squat without the chair. Making sure that we did not let our knees go over our toes, that we didn't put any stress on the knees, engaging the glutes as we went down and squeezed as we came back up. With the advanced version, we added a little jump to it. So there's a lot of different ways you can do squats, and it can all be done at home, in your office, when you're traveling. It's a very important exercise for building lower body strength. The next exercise we did some dips. Dips are basically a great exercise to build upper body strength, particularly engaging the triceps. That's the back of the arms. We use the bench to just do a basic dip. Then we actually put one leg out to make it a little bit more advanced in doing dips that way. And then we completely made it a very, very more challenging exercise by putting our feet on top of another chair. Dips are a great way to build upper body strength. You don't need any equipment, and I highly recommend it, assuming that you don't have any shoulder issues. You don't want to go too far when you're doing a dip. We did a bird dog exercise, which was down on the floor or a mat. And with bird dog, it's a great exercise to engage in your core, your glutes, extending your arms out. You're kind of working the entire body with that. It's very important to make sure that you maintain spine stability, that your spine is in a nice straight position. You're not arching or you're not rounding the spine when doing this exercise, and you're engaging the glutes and extending the arms straight out. And we did 3 different variations of that, showing more of a basic version and then leading up to a more of a challenging version by not even having the knees on the floor. We also did the plank. Good old plank. I mean, the plank you can do anywhere, and it's such an awesome exercise. You can do the plank with your arms extended, or you can do a forearm plank. And we started with just a beginner version by just trying to hold the plank for 30 seconds, which is a great start. Ultimately you can make a minute your goal. And then there's other variations to the plank that we showed on the video. Push-ups. We did push-ups, which I love. Again, a total upper body, lower body, core exercise that people don't realize the benefits that you can have from push-ups. Again, assuming that you don't have any shoulder issues or wrist issues, push-ups are a fantastic exercise that you can do anywhere.
And in terms of how much time does this actually take and how many sets should people do? What do you suggest there?
Well, with this little routine we did, you could actually kind of do a circuit. You could start with one exercise, let's say the squats, and then go right into the dips, and then go into the bird dogs. It can take 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes top. I recommend doing 2 to 3 sets, 10 to 15 reps each. Or if you literally have like 5 minutes, just go through the whole gamut of exercises. And, at least it's better than doing nothing. At least you've done something.
So we did videos of all of these, and we're going to post them on the Hittin' 50 podcast YouTube channel. My hope is that we'll be able to find some time to be able to record additional videos over the coming weeks. I mean, we talked a little bit about, the push-up. We could do an entire workout, with variations of the push-up, wide grip push-ups, close grip push-ups, incline, decline. I'm really excited about this segment. I'm hoping, people can benefit from it. So once again, Christine, thanks so much for taking the time today and for doing those videos. I think they're really helpful.
Great. Thanks so much, Chris, for having me. And thanks for coming to my house of fitness.
You got it. Anytime. I'm really excited about the In the Gym with Christine segment, and I hope that we're able to continue to build out the library of workouts that you can access. With that, episode 7 of the Hittin' 50 podcast comes to a close. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast so you are alerted to new episodes, which are released each Monday. Until next week, stay healthy, everyone. Bye-bye.